So our next step is to adjust the display and get out of this natural color and get to a false color. So we're going to make a false color that uses the shortwave 2, and then it also uses the near infrared, and then it uses the red. Is that fair? So in Landsat, kind of Landsat 5 that we've been working with, it would be probably a 754 that we'd be displaying. But we're going to um, do this in Sentinel, so it's going to be a 12.8.4. Is that okay? And so just to double check this, if we go to the Earth Engine data catalog and we go to Sentinel and we go to Sentinel 2 and we go to the surface reflectance, you can see that they have the names here. So we're going to use the SWIR2, and then we're going to use the NIR, and then we're going to use the red B4 to make our composite. So if I go to here and say that this is going to be 12, this is going to be 8, and this is going to be 4. Those are the bands that we're going to use, and now we just have to figure out how to do the display. So if I just run it here, we should get the fire scar should pop out a little bit. And I'd like to do a couple things here. The first is let's just make sure that our viz is stretched as well as we can. So if you go to adjust the display here, I'm going to copy this, and this is just the histogram tool that we've used. So I'll bring that in, and I'll put it here. And the way this is set up is that it brings in the tools. So I have the bands listed first, and then it loads the tools, and then you can just, it's going to call the viz bands that you're defined here. And if you change that to 0 and click run, it should put a histogram here eventually. This does not bode well that it's running slow at this hour, but anyway. So if you look at here, probably chop it at 3, which is what we have. And so that looks good, right? But I'm just going to set this up because we're going to do more than one. And you guys have all done this, but I'm just going to do it with you because I know you know how to do it. But then the idea is I can switch this to 1. And if I run this, this I think is going to be pushed out a little bit further. That near infrared often reflects a lot because of the vegetation structure. And it's taking a while to think about, even though I've scaled it up at 30. I'm a little surprised it's taken this long. And so there it is. And if I looked at something like this, it goes out for quite a while. And so I might cut it at 35. 30 would be fine again. But I'm just going to cut that one at 35. And it's going to get mad at me about the next one, but I'm going to just switch that to 2 and hit run. And this one should be a little bit shorter. It's going to be, I told you it would get mad at me because I don't have a min-max defined for my 3 bands, and it's okay taking 1, but if you don't, but it gets frustrated if you have just 2 because it doesn't know what to do. But once this histogram kind of comes through, and I'll bring over the last one, which I think will be a little clamped a little bit lower than the others because it's the red band which absorbs. So say 0.2, 0.15 would probably be good here. So the last one I'm going to say 0, 0 and 0.15. And then it should be happy when I run it. So then the next thing I'd like to do, and we should get, we've got a lot more purple now, and that's, I think, because of the way we've stretched the, but hopefully by going to purple and green. I don't think this isn't going to work up here. It throws this on my other monitor that I have linked, but that might be a little bit that might be more visible for colorblind folks to push it into the purple and out of the red, which I think we did there. And so then the last thing I want to do is just recenter this so that we're more focused in the center of our burn scar because we're right on the edge of it right now. So to do that, it's simply going to be I go up to the top here and I hit the trash can and say OK. And then I look for a spot that's more kind of in the center. So I'm going to grab my push pin and maybe put one here. It doesn't, there's no exact, yours could be a little bit different than mine, so don't stress about that. And then if I hit run, it should run it. And that's great, but now you can see that our area of interest is bigger than it needs to be. So I'm going to bring that down so that we're not asking Earth Engine to do more work than it needs to. I'm going to bring that down to 20 and hit run. And now we should be getting, yeah, kind of a tight little shot there of the that I'll live with for now. Is that all right? It looks a little high. Sorry, this is when you see the perfectionist side of me come out, but I'm going to move it over a little bit more. I just like to get it centered and hit run. And that should be okay. So I'm going to hit save, and then we've got that roughly centered. And it's the only other thing I'm going to do is not ask it to print that out each time just to get this to run faster. So I need to keep my viz bands, but I can go from here down to here, just holding the shift down and clicking, and then a command slash or control slash to comment that all out. And if I hit run, it should run for me. That looks okay. I'm going to hit save and then move on.